An ocean of grass, where heaven and earth become one. Through the hills, hunters carve the Black River. On this vast stage, the giants are right there. Please follow the story of the elephant and the hyena. The elephant crashes into the dust, its massive frame trembling as the ground itself seems to quake. A circle of hyenas tightens around it, eyes glittering, voices rising in a mocking chorus of laughter. For the fallen giant, this is the most vulnerable moment imaginable. Pinned by gravity, hounded by predators that thrive on weakness. But in nature, endings aren't always what they seem. From despair, something unexpected is about to emerge, a clash of will, cunning, and raw survival. Dust still swirls in the air where the elephant fell. The ground shows a fresh crater beneath its massive shoulder, a dark patch of soil pressed flat by thousands of pounds of weight. The giant struggles, trunk curling weakly across the dirt, pulling at roots and grass as though grasping for something solid enough to rise against. But the weight of its own body pins it down like a prison. The hyenas circle tighter. Their paws crunch softly over sand and dried leaves. Ears twitch forward, teeth flash, and their laughter builds in rhythm, like drummers beating before a storm. One bold female darts in, snapping at the elephant's flank. The elephant bellows, a roar that echoes across the plain. But the sound trembles, it carries more fear than fury. For a moment, it tries to heave itself upright. The muscles along its spine ripple like shifting mountains, pushing against the earth. The front legs fold, press, stretch, but slip back, sliding in the loose soil. Its chest slams down again with a thud that shakes the dust from nearby shrubs. The hyenas leap back, startled, but quickly regain confidence. Another attempt. The elephant twists its head, tusks carving shallow trenches in the dirt. Its trunk pushes, coiling beneath the skull like a lever. The earth moans under the strain as the massive head lifts, trembling, and for an instant, the body begins to follow. But gravity is merciless. The rear leg buckles, and the bulk collapses once more, slamming down in defeat. The hyenas grow bolder. Two more dart in, nipping at the thick skin behind its ears. Their teeth scrape, but find little purchase against the armor of hide. Still, their message is clear. Every second on the ground is a second closer to the end. The elephant's ears flap, wide as sails, stirring dust clouds in a desperate bluff. Its eyes, glazed with pain, flash toward the horizon as if searching for help. But no herd is in sight. The giant is alone, wrapped in a tightening noose of predators. Yet something stirs within the elephant's movements. Between every failed heave, between the crashes back into the soil, there is still rhythm. Each push tests the earth. Each collapse shifts its body fractionally, adjusting angles, digging grooves. Unintentionally, the elephant is shaping the ground beneath it into something that might become leverage. The hyenas don't notice this slow preparation. Their focus is only on the trembling trunk, the heavy breaths, the promise of weakness. They pace faster, voices rising like a cruel choir. But beneath the laughter, a battle is already beginning, not of fangs against flesh, but of will against inevitability. And the giant is not ready to surrender. Not yet. The sun climbs higher, its weight pressing down on the scene almost as heavily as the earth pins the elephant. Heat ripples from the soil, shimmering like waves, blurring the outlines of predator and prey into a fevered mirage. Sweat and dust coat the elephant's hide, dark streaks staining the wrinkles of its skin. Each breath is labored, drawn out in rattling bellows that shake its chest but weaken before they reach the air. The hyenas sense the shift. Their laughter grows sharper, more taunting. One by one, they creep closer, testing the boundaries. A young male lunges, jaws snapping toward the elephant's exposed leg. Skin as thick as leather absorbs the bite, but blood beads from the shallow puncture. The elephant trumpets in anguish, lashing its trunk in a sweeping arc. Dust explodes as the hyena is flung aside, yelping, but the victory is hollow. The elephant spent precious strength on that strike, and its body slumps heavier than before. Time becomes its cruelest enemy. Minutes drag into a punishing cycle. Attempt, collapse, gasp, stillness. Each failure deepens the rut in the soil. Each pause stretches longer. The hyenas begin to coordinate, not rushing recklessly but circling with military precision. They dart in waves, two snapping, retreating, two more, replacing them instantly. Their chorus of cackles rises into something manic, echoing across the plain like a spell designed to erode hope. The elephant tries again. Forelegs brace, shoulders quiver. muscles bunch like ropes, straining against anchors. For a heartbeat, it rises half its bulk off the ground, trunk lifted skyward as though summoning thunder. But the rear legs refuse. The weight crashes down, harder than before, shaking through bone and marrow. A guttural cry escapes the giant, rolling across the savanna like a storm cloud torn apart. Despair settles in. The elephant's eyes close, long lashes matted with dust. Its chest heaves, ribs shifting visibly beneath thick skin. The hyenas taste victory now. Their movements lose hesitation. They nip more boldly, bite longer, daring to tug at the edges of the giant's ear. Blood smears their muzzles. Their tails rise in stiff flags of dominance, but deep within that closing eye, a flicker remains. A sliver of refusal, faint but stubborn. The elephant shifts again, not in a frantic thrash this time, but in deliberate, grinding effort. Each motion is smaller, controlled. It presses against the grooves it has carved, shoulders angled differently, legs tucked closer. The hyenas mistake this for weakness, for surrender. They're wrong. The struggle has not ended, it has evolved. What was chaos is becoming calculation. What was collapse is becoming preparation. The battlefield is changing, and with it, so will the outcome. The ground is no longer just an obstacle, it has become an ally. Hours of collapse and struggle have carved a hollow beneath the elephant's ribs, a slope of packed earth that changes the angle of its body. What looked like failure was, in truth, slow construction. Each fall shaped a foundation. Each slip created leverage. And now, the giant begins to use it. The hyenas don't see it at first. Their frenzy blinds them. They rush in with renewed hunger, their laughter ringing like cruel bells in the silence of the savanna. One clamps onto the elephant's trunk, tugging viciously. Another leaps for its shoulder. Their teeth sink deep. But the giant does not waste energy thrashing them off. Instead, it braces. The elephant plants one foreleg against the new incline, muscles knotting like steel cables beneath its skin. A groan escapes its chest. Deeper than thunder, a sound dredged from the bottom of despair itself. Dust explodes around its frame as the ground shudders. Slowly, agonizingly, the bulk of its body begins to rise. The slope catches its weight, holding it just long enough for the second foreleg to slam down beside the first. The hyenas falter. Their rhythm stumbles. For the first time, their laughter cracks with uncertainty. They sense the shift in power, the mountain is moving. With a violent heave, the elephant tears free of the earth's grip. Its trunk lashes outward, flinging a hyena into the dust like a rag doll. Tusks swing wide, gouging furrows in the soil as the beast surges forward. Blood and dust mix in the air, but the giant is no longer collapsing. It is advancing. The hyenas scramble, confusion breaking their unity. Some retreat, circling wider. Others, too frenzied to surrender, press their attack. A bold female charges the elephant's flank, snapping at the folds of its belly. The elephant answers with a kick that cracks like a gunshot, sending her sprawling into the dirt, limp. Each motion now carries momentum. The elephant, though battered and bleeding, channels its agony into fury. It trumpets, a blast so fierce it rattles across the plain and silences every predator within earshot. Birds scatter from the trees. The air itself vibrates with defiance. The hyenas hesitate. Their eyes dart from one another, waiting for a leader to renew the assault. But their advantage, the certainty of prey, is gone. In its place rises a different truth. This is not a meal. This is a mountain awakened. The elephant lumbers forward, steps heavy but deliberate, like drum beats shaking the ground. Each stride pushes the predators back. They snap half-heartedly, but their confidence erodes with every inch gained. Dust swirls behind the giant like smoke from a battlefield, and in that haze, the hyena's shadows shrink. One last attempt. A desperate lunge at its rear leg. Teeth sink into flesh. The elephant roars, twists, and slams its body sideways into the earth. The ground erupts. The hyena pinned beneath its bulk yelps in terror, scrambling free with a shattered limp. That final cry shatters the pack's will. They break. In a scatter of paws and tails, the hyenas retreat into the distance, their mocking laughter silenced, replaced by the low whimpers of defeat. They vanish into the tall grass, leaving only the dust of their departure hanging in the air. And there it stands, the elephant, scarred, bleeding, sides heaving like bellows, but alive. Not just alive, unbroken. Its ears flare wide, catching the wind, and for a moment the savanna holds its breath. The giant, once a fallen monument, is restored. It does not chase the predators. It does not need to. Survival itself is the only victory required. With a final trumpet, echoing like a vow across the plain, The elephant turns toward the horizon and takes another step. The impossible has happened. Despair has become defiance. Collapse has become resurrection. And in the silent aftermath, the plain remembers. Even giants, when fallen, can rise again. The savanna lies quiet now, the dust slowly drifting back to earth. What began as a scene of weakness has become a testament to endurance. A fallen giant, circled by opportunists, transformed despair into defiance, and in doing so, rewrote the ending written for it. The elephant's scars will remain, carved into its hide as reminders of the battle. But scars are not signs of defeat. They are proof of survival. Every step it takes now carries the weight of that triumph, echoing across the land long after the hyena's laughter has faded. Nature is merciless, yet within its cruelty lives resilience. The elephant did not rise because it was invincible. It rose because it refused surrender, because even in the dust, it searched for strength where none seemed to exist. And perhaps that is the true wonder of the wild, that in the face of certain ending, life still finds the will to rise again and again.